Mitch is a great vocalist. We didn't work that hard on vocals, really, you know? I mean, we worked as hard as we had to, but the songs in that sense were there. We didn't deviate far from the vocals. And we didn't deviate far from keeping it, you know, it's all acoustic based.
Mm-hmm.
It's all acoustic guitar. And, you know, and Mitch obviously plays violin, and that was our little bit of a secret weapon when we first started.
The title of the album, can you talk a little bit about Good Man, Bad Man and what that means?
Sure, there's one song, it's the last song on the album, called Good Man, Bad Man. Actually, the suggestion came from a friend to use that. I had another song on the album that I wanted to use at the time to put on the title, but based on her suggestion, it totally made a lot of sense. So that particular song, it's kind of a journey and talking about an experience of having a real negative figure in your life and the challenges as you grow up to overcome the negative influence and to find strength within to go out and conquer the world on your own, to find whatever path you're supposed to be on and to accept and be proud of that. So I thought that was a great culmination for the album, starting from the beginning and using that as the end to basically end on a high note. And the song itself was, my concept was for it to start very minimalistic with just a guitar and for it to grow into a full, almost orchestra at the end. So just a real empowering type of piece of music.
And when a song comes in, hopefully the song, you know, has some direction, and that's all fine, and everybody has an idea of where it's going, but also that along the way it can kind of pick up things and pick up sort of direction. I think Mitch's album is a huge example of that. And Mitch, I would say that you came in with songs that were basically acoustic and vocal. I don't think you were limited in your vision of those songs in the sense that you're not like drums, bass, guitar, we're done. It was like, here are the songs, what do they want to be? And I would say basically we challenged every one of those songs to be something more than it was.
After sitting down with him and having really thorough discussions, he helped bring some ideas to the table through either actual parts or licks or just little sections of the song that really sort of made it grow. And I just really enjoyed where it was heading. So it was kind of giving him a little bit of space too as a producer to share ideas, put things down, and then I would do the same, and then we would hone it. We would review a part and maybe, you know, tear away the fat, so to speak, and find the key part within the little section, and then work on that. So it was a lot of trial and error, which was kind of fun.
Mitch basically said, like, let's do what it takes to do what we're doing. So, you know, there were times when we would definitely, or I'd say at the start, let's say, where we had to figure out where we were comfortable, you know? It's like pushing it out this way, pushing it out that way. And like I say, Mitch is a great guy for that. And I think at the same time, sometimes he was probably thinking, when is this going to settle back down to here so it's a song? But we kept a really big lens for a lot of these songs.
In putting the album together was finding songs that had written that sort of have a common thread to them, so that at least there's some continuity on the album, some way for people to relate, and maybe a little bit of a storyline or some depth to it that people could gravitate towards. So I don't think that there's any one in particular, because the album actually has a lot of variety on it. There's some that are a little more poppy, some a little more rock, and some are pretty folk singer-songwriter stuff. So for me, it's just a collection of songs that I'm really proud of and that I think people might, in their own way, be able to relate to.
There are a couple songs that sort of fall into the rock range, and then some of them are not rock. They're like folk, you know, pop-infected rock of some sort. I don't know what they are. I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Avant-garde? I don't know.
We used different people sometimes for the same parts. We used a couple different bass players throughout the album, so it was just who fit the right songs at those times. And not every song needed a full drummer. Some songs were just percussion based, so we did it right in here in-house with Dave and I, and we figured out the parts and did the songs just percussion based.
You know, when Mitch says we want to get a good drummer. We don't want to, we're not going to skimp on how we make this happen. And then when a guy like Peter comes in, your first building block is solid, which allows me to be maybe to some extent a little more outside with keyboards or something, or outside with some of the ideas. And that's a great building block. And then we had Fred Guigna who came in, and he's obviously, uber credible as well. And could just make stuff feel like it, it's just the right stuff. And then bass-wise, we had Kevin McGarriger come in. We used to play with Kathleen Edwards, and he was a great addition at the start. And then we kind of hooked up with Stuart Watkins, who I didn't know actually before this. It was Peter who brought him on board, and he was a really nice sort of next addition because he kind of brought some of the songs. He gave them a real bass groove relevance. Brian Sanderson on a couple songs as well for horns. I think I love recording horns.
I had done a lot of demos in the past over the years, and wanted to do it for myself even. Just have a real serious project, completed, fully produced, with professionals, and to know that I could actually achieve the project and then hopefully share it and it would be successful.
You did all the keys?
I did all the keys. And
I did acoustics.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have initially we were like, we're gonna get female vocalists on this. We're gonna get blah blah blah. And next thing you know, Dave's the female vocalist and Mitch is the female vocalist, and we're done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Rob Bennett for that one song.
Rob Bennett, yeah, because we needed a real sort of iconic guitar tone and playing, and he was the perfect guy for it.
It's locked. Can't get in.
All right, well that's fun. Let's go home.